Good Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations W News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up today. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you're being part of my conversation with model, actor, and producer Ty Edwards. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations W News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Tuesday headlines. In national news, the Mississippi State Department of Health reports 1,167 new COVID-19 cases in Mississippi and 2 additional deaths on Monday. In the Magnolia State, there have now been 195,500 COVID-19 cases and 4,411 coronavirus-related deaths in the state since March. Around the country, there are nearly 18 million COVID-19 cases and more than 318,000 people have died, according to data by the Johns Hopkins University. The U.S. added a second COVID-19 vaccine to its arsenal. The Food and Drug Administration authorized on Friday a shot developed by Moderna Incorporated and the National Institutes of Health, clearing the way for its use to begin this week. In a related story, Biden gets COVID-19 vaccine, says nothing to worry about. President-elect Joe Biden on Monday received his first dose of the coronavirus vaccine on live television as part of a growing effort to convince the American public the inoculations are safe. The president-elect took a dose of Pfizer vaccine at a hospital not far from his Delaware home, hours after his wife Jill Biden did the same. The injections came the same day that a second vaccine, produced by Moderna, will start arriving in states. Biden emphasized the safety of the vaccine and said President Donald Trump's administration deserves some credit for getting the vaccine distribution process off the ground. I'm doing this to demonstrate that people should be prepared when it's available to take the vaccine, he added. There's nothing to worry about. He noted, however, that distributing the vaccine is going to take time and urged Americans to take precautions during the holiday season to avoid the spread of the virus, including wearing masks. If you don't have to travel, don't travel, he said. It's really important. Biden also thanked healthcare workers and offered praise and an elbow bump to Tab Mays, the nurse practitioner who administered his first dose of the vaccine. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris and her husband are expected to receive their first shots next week. In more national news, Congress rushes toward vote on $900 billion COVID relief bill. After months of Washington gridlock, Congress on Monday was set to vote on $900 billion pandemic relief package, finally delivering long-sought cash to businesses and individuals, as well as resources to vaccinate a nation confronting a frightening surge in COVID-19 cases and deaths. Lawmakers tacked on thousands of pages of other end-of-season business in a burst of legislation as Capitol Hill is set to close down for the year. The relief package, agreed to on Sunday and finally released in bill form on Monday afternoon, remained on track for votes in Congress. It established a temporary $300 per week supplemental jobless benefit and $600 direct stimulus payments to most Americans, along with a new round of subsidies for hard-hit businesses and money for schools, healthcare providers, and renters facing evictions. The legislation was 5,593 pages, the longest bill in memory and probably ever. It came together on Sunday after months of battling, posturing, and post-election negotiating that reined in a number of Democratic demands as the end of the congressional session approached. In more national news, Barr undercuts Trump on election and Hunter Biden. Undercutting President Donald Trump on multiple fronts, Attorney General William Barr said Monday he saw no reason to appoint a special counsel to look into the president's claims about the 2020 election or to name one of the tax investigation of President-elect Joe Biden's son. Barr, in his final public appearance as a member of Trump's cabinet, also reinforced the belief of federal officials that Russia was behind a massive hack of U.S. government agencies, not China, as the president has suggested. In business news, the S&P 500 fell 14 points to 3,695. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 37 points, or 0.1%, to close at 30,216. The Nasdaq Composite slipped 13 points, or 0.1%, to close at 12,743. And finally, in entertainment news, Tina Turner shares her steps to happiness. Tina Turner, 81, shares her philosophy of living in a new book, Happiness Becomes You, a guide to changing your life for good. She talks about the importance of healing from within, the power in forgiveness and positivity, the importance of cherishing yourself, as well as the music of life and the importance of being natural. We're all one with nature, Tina Turner says. Some of us feel it more than others. I've always sensed an unseen universal hum and energy, the nourishing rhythm of nature. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, it's all yours.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Have a life outside of work. Always consider your personal needs because they are no less important than your work obligations. Make sure you have a life outside of work. Empower yourself to reintroduce play and relaxation into your life. You do not need to feel you are shirking your duties for more vital obligations because when you do not take care of you, you cannot take care of anything, including your work. Allow yourself plenty of time to unwind between work duties. Introduce balance into your life by scaling back on your duties and taking play breaks. This will help you to accomplish more. Your concept of success must not be associated with working until you drop or putting your labors before anything else. Today, make time to put aside obligations and take care of you. And remember, enjoy your day.
As I mentioned, Ty Edwards is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight, right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Model, actor, and producer Ty Edwards will join me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about the year that's been 2020 and the making of his new film, The Ice Cream Stop. Here's a bit of our conversation. Man, well, look, it's been quite the year. You and I were just talking about that before we went on the air here, and it's funny because I kicked off 2020 in Los Angeles, sat down with you to kind of talk about, what it was like for you to reflect on this journey. How does it feel now, Ty, to be at the end of another year and to kind of think about the things that's come your way this year?
Man, it's been mind-blowing, especially right now, in the current state of the world as far as the pandemic, because so many people aren't as fortunate, and I have not, by the grace of God, have not felt the effects of this like so many people. I've have a lot of loss. I had some people that has died to the coronavirus. I had some people that has been affected by the Black Lives Matter issue, and so I felt it in that aspect. But as far as my personal, and especially for my career, I haven't felt the effects at all. I was fortunate to be one of the first ones to even film during the pandemic, so I have no complaints. God is so good.
What do you think kind of has helped you to stay focused, even with all the craziness going on?
Well, I have to deal with the reality that, being as an actor, I wasn't going to be able to go out to auditions as much. I've been doing quite a bit of self-tape. And as an actor, too, it's pretty much like a temp job situation, because when you're not working, hopefully you have something else to fall back on. Yeah. Which I do, with the personal training and the new venture I started. But essentially, I was looking at it in the eyes of an actor, like, okay, the world is shut down. That's the business. What do we do?
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back with you guys on tomorrow with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.